Hey, I'm Jody, and I have ME, myalgic encephalomyelitis. I also make pizza just about every Friday night. In this video, rather than sharing a recipe, because let's face it, recipes are a dime a dozen, I want to share the adaptations I employ in order to minimize P.E.M, post-exertional malaise, while making homemade pizza dough and a pizza. So let's get started. First, I'll gather all of my ingredients. Got all my dry goods. Got the yeast from the freezer. Raise my stool and start measuring things out. Tear the scale. Make sure it's in grams. I'm not blooming the yeast or anything like that. And no, the salt won't kill the yeast if it's not there together for too long. Olive oil. I like it soft, so quite a lot. Okay. Lowered the chair. Pulled the flour over. Gonna raise the chair a little bit so that I have good reach for both. I'm going to use the lid as a spill collector. I am done with measuring. Yes, let me double check, make sure I got everything. Right. Water, yeast, sugar, salt, olive oil, flour. Done with the scale. Turn it off. I'm going to get myself tucked up into the corner here, braced against the counter. Just give this the old witch stir. If your bowl starts sliding around, put a towel under it. All right. I'm just taking care of my baby here. Again, something like chopsticks would work. Yeah, like, right, if you got the dexterity for that, especially if that's all you've got. I wouldn't go for a regular whisk. This is impossible to clean after you make bread with it. Other options include dough scraper. Sometimes that can be hard to keep a grip on, though, like chopsticks. But it's good. You can kind of move your stuff from the bottom that way. Finally, hands. I think hands is pretty effective. I'm going to have to clean it all off anyway, so I may as well just do it now. I'm doing dishes so that you don't have to. Just gonna. All right, just dragging from the bottom with the scraper method here. Just kind of cutting the stuff in. And I'm using my hand anyway, so I may as well just finish with my hand. Okay. We're not kneading here. We're just mixing all of the dry flour in. You don't have to be gentle though either. Go ahead and like get it all in there. Okay. That is today's workout complete. Use the scraper here to clean off. And then I'm gonna let this dough rest. It's mixed enough right now, and then we'll come back and do a fold or two. Probably just one. Put all this in the sink. Cover it up. And then I'll be back. Okay, it's been, I don't know, 30 minutes. And I'm just gonna come back and fold this. Looks pretty rough now, but the wet hand I'm just gonna pull up and fold over. And I don't know, I'm gonna go counterclockwise for some reason. The olive oil has made these little like pebbles here. It's odd. No big deal. Just pulling it over itself. And then I want to just try to round the top. Get like a nice skin on top here. It's weird about the olive oil. Anyway, it's fine. Okay. I don't want to go too much on that because it'll start peeling away from itself, but that's good. I'm going to put this in the fridge. The dough has been in the refrigerator for 3 days because I have not felt well enough to continue with it until today. First, I want to prepare my containers. The oiled containers. I'll set those aside. Okay. In arm's reach. Next, see how much bigger that is? Even in the fridge, it continued to rise. So, probably can't see that. I've tared it. And I'm going to lightly dust the top. Flour. Lightly, okay. I'm going to just pull it away from the bowl, and I'm degassing it at the same time. Up in the big bubbles. Right. I'm just going to dump it on the counter right here. The point of doing this is to get the final weight of the dough to then divide it into 4. So 1429, 1, 4, 2, 9 divided by 4 equals 357.25. So we're looking for somewhere around 357, 355 to 360. All right, we're done with this bowl for not forever, but for now. And re-tear that. All right. I'm just going to cut it like in half-ish. And then in quarters. What did we say? 357 Magnum. Let's get that one a little bit more. Fine. 351. I'm going to pre-shape. And it's not sticky at all. The flour is just like, you know, preventive. All right, so we're going to just fold into the middle. Just keep folding into the middle, and then you can just pinch it right here. Flip it over and tighten it on the counter. I'm just tucking my hand, pushing. I'm actually just pulling. And then I rotate, and then I pull. And you can even do that. You could even have a dough ball in each hand, but anyway, we're looking for a taut, smooth surface. And that's not perfect, but good enough. Right, into the oiled bowl and get it just a little bit lubed up from the side of the bowl. We want it to be able to just drop right out. These go in the freezer. Rinse and repeat. You can also do it in your hand like this. But we're trying to create what is called a gluten cloak to hold everything together. So, remember the bowl? I'm going to make this in the next hour. I'm going to leave it like this on the counter. Otherwise, it goes into a lightly oiled bowl, covered, and put into the refrigerator until about an hour before I want to bake. It helps to let the dough come to room temperature before stretching it out. And if it gives too much resistance when you try, let it rest and warm up for about 15 minutes. I'll start by anchoring the dough in the center and then gently pulling to the side with my other hand. That method will work for the entire stretching process, but sometimes I like to make two fists, and especially if the dough isn't completely warmed up yet, use the warmth of my hands and the weight of the dough to finish the stretching. Once the dough is stretched to my desired diameter, I will transfer it to a sheet of parchment that is dusted with semolina flour. This is the stress-free method of pizza launching. Using parchment paper lets me take as much time as I need to top the pizza, as well as ensures that the pizza will not stick to the launcher. I'm using cheese that I grated in the food processor from blocks of whole milk mozzarella. With this method, I'll typically shred a couple or 3 pounds of cheese and then store the shredded cheese in the freezer. It is completely fine to use store-bought pre-shredded cheese. You might want to rinse it, but if you don't, it's fine too. So I'm just getting my toppings on, and because I'm using parchment, I can really press them in and make them stay. So here I'm adding raw sausage. That's the way I prefer to do it. It's completely fine to use cooked, leftover, whatever. We are ready for the oven. So I'm going to slide my peel underneath and then make final adjustments. Like I decided I wanted to turn the parchment around before sliding my pie effortlessly onto a preheated baking steel, using my rolling stool to help with movement. Optionally, about halfway through baking, you can remove the parchment paper. Doesn't really matter that much though. My pizza's been in a 500-degree oven for about 12 minutes. The top is nice and bubbly and browning, and underneath is perfectly caramelized. I like to let it cool for about 10 minutes before slicing because it's less messy. You don't completely burn the roof of your mouth when you dig in to the delicious, delicious pizza. Thank you for watching, and please let me know in the comments what adaptations you've made in your kitchen. Be excellent to yourself and to each other.